SoftServed Gentleman, Dean Alejandro here, and today I wanted to bust into another one of our Q&A questions with one of the most common questions that I've gotten in the past year is, why did you get divorced? Why did the separation happen? For those of you that do not know, my ex and I separated last year, and I did a little video on it, but I didn't want to get too much into it. But I've had so many people kind of ask me, and one of the things that I've also really have been proud of is being very vulnerable and being very transparent with the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between, right? And I'd been doing this for a really long time up until the past year because I wanted to respect the privacy of both of our journeys individually, together, and kind of see what happens. Plus, it's not really anyone's business other than ourselves. But with that being said, transparency is very important, and it's important to know that separations do happen, breakups do happen, divorces do happen, and it's okay. There's this really big stigma with it in society, and I experienced that a lot, and I'm sure my ex did too. But I really wanted to kind of open the door and talk about the separation and how it happens. And if you're going through something similar, feel free to please reach out. I really want to kind of put any kind of resources or support with those going through breakups or, kind of navigating their journey if they've had a supportive partner or didn't have a supportive partner. Any really relationship problems, I want you to know that you're not alone and I see you and you are valid. And everyone's going to have an opinion, and that opinion is based off the perspective of the individual going through the other situation, right? So it's a completely crazy situation. Anyways, diving into it, why did my ex and I separate? There's a lot of reasons actually why, but some of the biggest reasons, in my personal opinion, from my perspective, and some of it gets really nitty gritty, so I'm just not even going to share any of it. Communication. Communication is such a huge deal in a relationship, right? So that's one. Communication, when you don't communicate, problems don't get resolved. They don't get brought up. They get brushed off. And if you don't like confrontation, it's easy to kind of shrug it off. And what happens is when you're in a relationship, especially for so long, resentment happens. And it's unintentional resentment. And it's very important to kind of realize that, and to realize that when you're in a partnership, even a friendship, it's important to grow with that person because everyone is changing and evolving every single hour of every single day, right? So it's important to acknowledge that you need to communicate and have these open conversations, whether you agree or disagree, and be okay with that. And that's it. I mean, it sounds so simple, but it's really not. So yeah, a lot of the issues stemmed from unintentional resentment, from unresolved communication. So that was a big one. Another reason that, happened, which happened, is that my ex and I got together before I was a male. And she had primarily been with women, and she's always identified as a lesbian. So that's that. I don't need to say anything more about that situation. That's exactly, us related. Another thing that contributed a lot to it, and this goes back, piggybacking off the communication aspect, is I was an alcoholic for a really long time. And when I was an alcoholic, I did a lot of things that I was not proud of. And I did not take accountability for a lot of my actions because I did not understand how severe it was. And even the small things made a huge impact. And it wasn't fair for everyone in the situations on the receiving end of that. So there was a lot of unintentional resentment based off the fact that, we just didn't communicate properly. So, yeah, those are some of the problems that contributed a lot to the relationship. But now, I mean, everything happens for a reason. I'm a huge believer of that. I'm very thankful for the support. I wouldn't have been able to come out of the closet if it wasn't for her. So it's not completely negative, although most of it is very, very negative. But yeah, I have gone through my channel a little bit, cleaned it up a little bit, because a lot of the stuff was very personal. And with that being said, it's not taking away from my transparency and my vulnerability. It's just me kind of setting those boundaries within myself. And I don't really know that it's fair for her to kind of publicly still have that information out there. Now I am thinking of making a Patreon or something, and then putting like all of those unlisted links on there and stuff with like traveling and everything else. But like, after being with someone for a decade and then stopping and becoming strangers, essentially, like, it's a really difficult dynamic. So I really wanted to do this video to kind of put out there that relationship problems do happen. A lot of the times, and unfortunately the statistic was true with us, which we didn't think and we fought for so long, is that if you're together prior to your transition, a lot of the times you do not make it through in the same relationship. And it's just because you change so much. And it goes back to that, if you're not growing with the person every day, alongside their journey, then you're just becoming a stranger. You're just a roommate. You're just coexisting barely. So if this resonates with you, please hit me up. You can message me directly if you would like to. Feel free to comment below. Make sure you like this video. And if you can, press that bell for alerts, because I'm putting more content out there. That would be greatly appreciated. If you also have any other questions and don't feel comfortable, like I said, you can message me privately. You can post below. I really am just starting to dive back into this and talk about my experience, because that's who I am and that's what I do, and that's not going to change even though I lost the light on this channel for so long. So I appreciate you taking this time out of your day and watching this and sharing my journey with me, and I just really appreciate you and want to know that you're not alone and you matter. And I said this before, but it's okay to not be okay, especially going through relationship struggles. So have a good day.